Psalms 61:2 says, "From the ends of the earth I call to you as my heart grows faint." The background of Psalm 61, it's difficult to ascertain because the superscription only gives a brief musical instruction. It says, "For the director of music with stringed instruments of David." So what do we know? The content of the psalm is itself, it's worshipful, and with the heavy emphasis on the singer being the king himself, it clearly qualifies as a royal psalm. Additionally, some see in this song the characteristics of lament, especially in verse 2 where we read, "As my heart grows faint." This statement seems to speak of a heart that is overwhelmed with the circumstances of life and needs safety. There's the references to God as a refuge and tower in verses 3 and 4. The song may have been written during the season when David was driven from the kingdom by his own son, Absalom, because the references to his role as king wouldn't have been applied when he was being pursued by King Saul. Author and theologian Russell Moore described noticing the eerie silence in the Russian orphanage where he adopted his boys. Someone later explained that the babies had stopped crying because they learned that no one would respond to their cries. You see, when we face difficult times, we too can feel that no one hears us. And worst of all, we can feel that God himself doesn't listen to our cries or see the tears that's flowing down our face. But I want to encourage you today, he does. And that's why we need the language of petition, and found especially in the book of Psalms. The psalmist petitions for God's help, and he also protests the situation that's happening to him. In Psalm 61, David begins his petition by saying to the Creator, "I call to you, I call as my heart grows faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." David cries out to God because he knows that only he is his refuge and strong tower. Praying the petitions, and sometimes, yes, even the protests of the Psalms, it's a way of affirming God's sovereignty and appealing to his goodness and faithfulness in our lives. It's proof of the intimate relationship that we can experience with God. In difficult moments, we can all be tempted to believe the lie that God doesn't care. But I'm here to tell you today, he does. He hears you, and he's with you. That's today's Monday Manna. I hope you're encouraged today. God bless you. Have a great rest of your week.